you looking to create the most optimized nanoscape for your Thai crabs? Well, today, this video is for you. I'm going to go step by step on how you create your very own nanoscape for your Thai crabs. This can also facilitate neocardina shrimp as well. And I might put a fish in here, who knows? But today we're going to go through a step-by-step guide for this 5-gallon nano tank and show you how to create the most optimized scape for your Thai crabs. In any scape that you're going through and doing, the first important part is picking out your tank. So for this one, this is going to be the 25C cube, and the size is actually 4.1 gallons, and it's probably going to be less as I fill this up with some substrate and some hardscape. It is 9 inches by 9 inches by 9 inches in depth. For all of you not in the United States, 25 centimeters by 25 by 25. It's from UNS. I love UNS. The lighting I'm going to be using is the Trajeros C2 lighting, and I have a Forza, or the Aquatop Forza PFE3. It's good up to 15 gallons. I oversized all of my filters. This one does have a knob on it to slow the flow rate. So that is the build of this in terms of what I needed, not inside the tank. Trajeros lighting is going to provide a lot of light for my plants to grow. Thai crabs really need plants to flourish. They really originate from growing and living in rice propagation areas, heavy, dense, rooted areas with plant matter and slow moving water. So this will turn off in terms of flow rate slower. And then also the substrate. So what are we using for the substrate? The back non-foreground area, so the background area, I'm going to be using the control soil from UNS as well. By the way, I'm not sponsored by UNS or Trajeros or anything in this video. These are all just things that I've learned along the way. And then I'm also going to use their newest thing that just came out for plants. It is the Contro base. I'm going to be using at least 2 of these. This is their smaller one. This one was $29.99 at the store. I'm going to be placing in the background. I'm going to be using Sirius Stone for the hardscape. Reason being is that it does leach and create more TDS and initiating KH into your aquarium, which is great. You want that for Thai crabs. They are an invert that does require KH. And then for the sand, which I've already done in this tank, this is where the Thai crabs currently are, but I'm going to put them in a cube. I'm going to be using the UNS Pacifica sand, which I use in my volcanic scape. These lights are off because I'm filming. And it's going to contrast well with the Sirius Stone that I'm going to be using. So let's get through and show you how we're going to go through and scape this. All right, now that I got my base down, so again, I use the APT-S from 2 Hour Aquarius as my base nutrients, meaning from the glass up, that's what we're starting with. Then I used my Contro base from UNS as well. I'll have to reseal the bag because I didn't use both these bags, and they're a lot larger than what I anticipated for such a small bag. And then I used my control soil. I guess it's Contro soil. I always said control soil. Contro soil. This does create more acidic environment. They do prefer more acidic environment. Lower pH from like 6.5 to 7.3, I think is the range. And then the difference though, because I would love to keep them with my Caridina shrimp, would be is they do require a KH, which Caridina shrimp do not require. They only have a GH. They cannot live with a KH as well. So anyways, that's the base. Now I'm going to start adding the hardscape and start refilling it in with some more Contro soil, and then start adding in my decorative soil in the front. They do like a more finer soil so they can dig around the root systems. Just be aware of that when you're picking out your soil. You don't want like pebbles or anything like that, more of a fine soil. Think of like a swamp, right? More of a mud kind of environment. But let's go through and start adding our serious stone and seeing how this scape's gonna form out. All right, so I think this is the most optimized scape that the Thai crabs are just gonna enjoy. So let's go through and explain what I did to optimize from a hardscape perspective. All right, so what did I do from an optimization standpoint? The Thai crabs really like to hide in nooks and crannies, which will be even better when I add some boosters in these areas. We have this whole foreground area that's gonna have some plants in here as well. And then we're gonna have a whole stem plant area back here that will allow them to crawl in. We'll have some stem plants in this area too, but mainly booses. We'll have some Java moss. They really like to feed off of any type of matter that gets caught in the Java moss. So this is the most optimized scape I feel for the Thai crabs. You have this nice red sand as well. So we get some plants in here, which I didn't have any ordered, but we'll get some in later. We do have our back plants and a ton of anubises and Christmas moss. So let's go through and plant this together. All right, so we filled this thing up. It is scaped. It looks amazing right now. Now, one point to make, we're going to be cycling this. So cycling does take about 3 to 4 weeks. I'm going to see if I can expedite that. You'll see an update video coming out after this. The flow rate on this is super fast right now in comparison to what I'll have it when the Thai crabs are in there. That's just going to help create more circulation in the tank to build up beneficial bacteria a lot faster. This light's hot, so the Chirhuros C2 is a hotter light, so I'll get a lid for this, so the heat doesn't radiate as much and increase evaporation. So a lid will be added definitely, but super excited how this turned out. We acclimated this water, so I did RODI, which I do for all my tanks now, especially when I'm starting a new tank, because it's just a lot easier to not have huge fluctuations in water parameters and ammonia spikes. Just your tank cycles a lot faster when you do that. It's remineralized with a salty shrimp. It is their Neocaridina brand line that I use for this, as it's their GHKH from salty shrimp. Basically, that is what they need. So it's around a 5 to 6 kH for your Thai crabs. So this will be amazing. There's a bunch of nooks and crannies, but enough of me talking. Let's see the fly through. All right, what an amazing fly through. The only thing I have left to do to get this thing starting to cycle is add Quick Start. Again, not sponsored. This is API Quick Start. All their beneficial bacteria in this has worked wonders in all of my tanks. This is, I think it filled up about like 3.25 water. Didn't have like an accurate measurement, but I had a 5-gallon, didn't take all the 5-gallon. So for this, you just use your measuring for it. I'm just going to give it what you would for a 5-gallon tank, which is half. Because why not? Just a little extra. I'll dose it again in a week. And then after a week, I have a secret. I don't add it the first week, I wait. The secret is adding Bacter E. So this is definitely one of the top things I add in all of my tanks. Even after it's cycled, about every 1 to 2 weeks, I use Bacter E. This is from Glass Garden, and it is essentially for biofilm and macrofauna. So macrofauna feeds off of all of what's in this Bacter E. I'm not going to go into details on what's Bacter. It's Bacter AE. I always say Bacter E. Didn't realize it's AE. But anyways, you can pick this up. Picked it up off Amazon, a larger one. They do have an expiration date on these, so just be sure you're checking on it. I'll add this in about a week. But that's it for this build video. Hopefully you found this helpful for your Thai crabs and what you can create in your own little scape in office and in your house. This is a Nano scape, and it doesn't have to be for Thai crabs, right? You could have used this same scape thought process, except for water parameters for shrimp and maybe a betta fish, but I won't be adding a betta fish in here. But anyways, hopefully you found this video helpful in creating a step-by-step guide for your Thai crabs. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below. And please make sure you check out my latest video right here as well. And until next time, I'll see you all on the next build video.